And with that, we can officially welcome you all to this first session of Fred's Race. Thank you for joining us today for some great racing. And of course, our spectators on the outside, we are thankful for you joining us here today. We're streaming the action live now on our YouTube channel, thanks to our live stream viewers that are going to be watching the action today as well. Our first group coming up, we've got some Madison racing coming to the rail, and they will be competing in teams of 2 as we're going around the track. If you're new to watching Madison racing, I'll give you a quick rundown of how the race goes. And then there's a couple of rules to keep track of, as well as announcing of points, which I'm going to do my best to keep everybody on track with as well. Madison competitors on the rail and set to get started here with our officials team. Final call for our Madison competitors if we're missing anybody. Last chance before we begin our event here, the first race. Any Madison teams that we're missing, last chance to check in. First signals for our racers that are in the race to go on their neutral. Their teammates along the rail will be leaving in just a moment. And with that, we are in the neutral for the racers that are in this event. And you can see across the track from us on the back straight, the racers that are going to start in the event, their teammates. Currently what's called the relief riders, as they're not the active riders in the race, are over here on the home straight just coming into turn 1. They have a buddy out there, and you can look at the colors of their jerseys to see who's working together. Whoever's actively in the race, that's where the team is represented in the current racing. The relief rider position themselves and will be tossed in at whatever time the team wants to do an exchange. You'll see riders be doing this here quite frequently in the Madison. For winning the race, we're scoring this like a points race, so teams are going to be competing for points on certain laps. We got a 40-lap event today, an 8x5. That's 8 sprints every 5 laps. Those points go just like a normal points race. 5 points to the leader on the lap, 3 to the second rider, 2 to the third, and 1 to the fourth rider. We're continuing to track those points throughout the event to see which team comes out in the best position. If one of these Madison teams happens to come around the field and take a lap on them, they gain 20 points. If one of our teams loses a lap, they lose 20. One of the interesting dynamics, of course, of these events this weekend at Fred's Race is that we do have a lot of categories that we are scoring. So even though the overall race right now, the lead position is Team Orange going to the front of the field, we do have juniors in the mix that are not directly competing with that team, but for the most part, from the announcer's stand, I'm going to be giving you information on what the overall landscape of the competition is here so we can kind of watch how this race unfolds. So the lead of the race, first it's going to be Dixie Flyer Orange. Now we've got White flying up to take the lead position. So this body of 3 coming together after a couple laps is the front of the race. There's an exchange right on the home straight. You can see the Pied Broadmark duo of Nick Martinez, who's now in the relief coming up into turn 1. He just tossed in his teammate Andrew Carlberg. So you can see that an awful lot, that exchange of momentum in this race between riders. They're trying to get the riders up to speed to help the relief rider get up to speed quickly. It allows for a much better combined endurance as the relief rider can take that moment of rest, get in the right position, and get set for the next big move. One thing to watch as a spectator, too, is be mindful of these attacks that'll come off of the exchanges, as it's a really good attempt when riders try to use that timing of the exchange to go ahead and make an attack on their competitors, because oftentimes that fresh set of legs is just what you need to try to reinitiate the speed. The front of the race is starting to set themselves now as we've got a group of 5 coming out of turn 4 here. And our first bit of points coming out as Team Green will do a toss here. It looks like the Greg Cycles green team, 2 Liquid Velo competitors actually underneath that jersey riding together, will make it up to the front. So on the back straight, we might have a couple more exchanges before the point sprint. This first point sprint to find out which teams are going to be starting to set up ahead of the rest of this field. Orange for 5, our blue and yellow for 3, white 2, and green will get 1 point in the sprint. So as I have it right now, it's the Dixie Fly Orange team. You'll see them as bid number 2 at the front. That team is Lucas Strain working with Peter Newlands. They are in the lead with 5 points. And second with 3 is the KW Wrestling Center Cycles Dark Blue squad of Andy Baker and Kenny Williams. They're wearing bib 11. It's Kenny Williams right there trying to cover over that exchange to keep up with the front pace. In third place with 2 points is Eric Johnson's white jerseys. That's number 10, Christian Miller and Brett Walker. Rounding out the points getters in Greg's green, we have 1 point to John Bowie and Dave Chipchase. A 32 to go for the leaders as they come around that time. We'll get another bell here on the next lap. So every 5 laps, we're going to get another bell and keeping track of those points. Coming up next is the Kiddie Kilo, so don't go anywhere. The Cliff Bar Kiddie Kilo is coming up here in a moment. Our fun lap around the track for the youngsters will be up next. And there's our bell. This group of 4 just coming on the home straight now is the lead group. We got yellow in the chase in a hurting spot, trying to hold on to that lead position so they can be in the points. The Pride Broadmark Yellow doing a lot of work to get up there. Dixie Flyer senses the speed and decides to try to respond quickly, saying, I don't want you to use that momentum to take anything away from us. So the team of Lucas Strain and Peter Newlands trying to hold on for more as Orange coming through the turn right at the front of this thing, thinking about doing an exchange right before picking up the points. Whoa! 5 for Orange, I believe, 3 for Green, 2 for White, and 1 for the Yellow and Blue unofficially. That was interesting. So coming right to that sprint, getting a little bit busy. They were all able to navigate it just fine. And the toss in right there on the line. Good enough for the 5 points, though. A warning to Team 2, that's our orange bib for interference after the sprint. That's just a warning to our orange team for interference after the sprint, Team Orange. Official warning. Currently in the lead is our orange squad. They picked up 5 points twice in a row to be at 10 now. We have a 3-way tie in the next 3 groups in that lead field. Team White, Team Green, and Team Blue and Yellow all sitting with 4 points in a tie for second. Plenty more sprints and plenty more points to still divvy up, so these ties are certainly going to be broken. Couple of groups getting swallowed up by the lead, so they're going to be going down a lap as this happens. At 26 to go, blue and yellow's looking over his shoulder. That's Kenny Williams, one of the teams tied for second at the front of this sprint. So more points on the lap. Team Orange is hoping to take another one, and it's on a good position here. Got to be tired after all these attacks, trying to hold on to the front and keep taking these. It's a long race. You don't have to win every single sprint. So now it's going to be an opportunity for Team White. It looks like Brett Walker for the Eric Johnson jersey getting to the front. Team White for 5, Orange for 3, blue and yellow 2, and light blue will get 1. So Team White here is now the front of the race and getting away from the rest of these riders. So looking over to turn 2 under Greg Cycles, Team White picking up the 5 points last time, deciding to ride their momentum a little bit is Brett Walker and Christian Miller. Currently sitting in second after the last sprint. They've got 9 points. Behind them is the lead team in orange. They're sitting what I have down as 13 points. So the leaders with 13. Second place team is White with 9. After that, I got our blue and yellow with 6. And the green team's got 4. So the points as announced do match the officials' record currently. Trying to get away this duo of white and light, or the yellow and blue squad working together. So they're going to try to be a little bit of a team if they can. Maybe drop one team behind them. Right now, the big prize is getting rid of orange if they can. The leading team having a bit of trouble here, holding on to the constant attack and the endurance required to be on the front edge of this thing. And there's our bell, 21 to go. So the 3 behind them are eligible for a point. The 3 leaders are going to be fighting over 5, 3, and 2. Our second place team, the white team, really hoping to try to separate themselves here from the orange, who's kind of found themselves in that back field where they're not going to be able to get a whole lot of points out of this. Christian Miller getting enough speed to find the 5 for Team White. Blue and yellow for 3. Team Green will get 2, while orange finds 1 more. Unofficially, our points totals. I have a tie at the top of the race between orange and white, both with 14 points. Top of the race right now, unofficially tied at 14 apiece. Team White and Team Orange. KW Racing Center Cycles team sitting in 3rd place right now with 9 points. Behind that, I got Greg's Green with 6. That's good for 4th. Everybody else down a lap and struggling to keep on to this quick pace being set by our leaders. Under the halfway point on the event now, and we're going to continue to watch where the front of this field is for the most part, the front of the race, I should say. The leading edge is still that group of blue and yellow, white and now green, working together at the front, a group of 3. The next closest team is Team Orange, still on the same lap as those leaders, but you can see the distance between them and the lead group now. So they had some strong sprints, Team Orange did, but the endurance is playing pretty well here in the Madison for these 3 teams, and now coming through turn 1. Brett Walker tossing in Christian Miller there. trying to keep everybody's legs fresh, everybody coming up to the rail. The job there is to rest and be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes some of these relief riders will even position themselves perfectly in the hopes that they're able to get tossed in just as a sprint is starting, or in hopes that they may be able to start an attack in a certain place or time around the track. Bell's ringing for some more points at the front of the field. We've got 16 to go. Yellow and blue at the lead of this thing. Pulling up and out of the way for Team White now. And we are in another point sprint. Pyatt Broadmark still in the no man's land and not eligible just yet. The next group eligible looks like it'll be red, orange, and light blue here. Going to be fighting for the 1 point at this stage in the game. Leaders coming out of the turn, onto the home straight. Green trying to find their 5. John Bowie's going to be able to get there for his 5er here. And the blue and the yellow for 3. White for 2. And it looks like red's going to be picking up a point out of that. So the FSA Vision team picks up a point. Our chasing riders here seeing 14 to go. We're getting down to it. A few more sprints left to solve this one. I have the unofficial points as our leader. Currently, the white team, Eric Johnson's team of white, is in the lead with 16 points. After that, sitting in second is still orange. The Dixie Flyer Orange team has got 14. In third with 12 is KW Racing Center Cycles, blue and yellow. Then I've got 11 points to Greg's green. Good for fourth. And at that point, Team 2 has been caught, so we're going to say the Pyatt Broadmark team down a lap, but they are eligible for the next point sprint if they find themselves in this position still. Kiddie Kilo participants are asked to gather up at the end of the grandstands. We're going to get you all together and set for racing. Kiddie Kilo, folks, if you've registered tonight, a young rider for Kiddie Kilos, please bring them on over to the end of the grandstands. We'll get them queued up for racing. That's coming up in just a couple of moments here. Kiddie Kilos, over to the end of the grandstands, please, right next to the big Vision tent. Amara will be looking for you. Team with the most number of points is still the white team, and now the bell's ringing again at 11 to go. Brett Walker's in for the white team in that second wheel spot. Kenny Williams has got fresh legs and is going to try to position himself now at the front for yellow and blue. Team green find themselves at a little bit of a disadvantaged position coming into this sprint. And the sprint is on for the points. Kenny Williams will hold on for his team. Orange has made their way all the way back up here to the front, climbing this difficult bridge of effort. Dixie Flyers rest for a little bit and make the jump up, and they're here now to get some more points. So 2 more for the orange team in the middle of all that. Impressive. Nine to go. After that last sprint, this race has certainly gotten a little bit more interesting with orange jumping back into this field. And the points totals are awfully close between the groups. I got Eric Johnson's white squad is still in the lead with 19 points. In second place is a tie between Greg's green and the KW Racing Center Cycles blue and yellow. I got them sitting both at 12 points. Excuse me, make that 17 points. After that, I have, Greg's Green with 12. KW Racing Center Cycles is with 17. My mistake. The Dixie Flyer Orange team has come back in, and they are now sitting in third, having picked up 16 points. So in order again, it is the white team in the lead with 19. KW Racing Center Cycles Blue and Yellow in second with 17. Dixie Flyer Orange in third with 16 points. And finally, Greg's Green with 12, sitting in fourth. All four of those teams, as called for points, are in that field together right now, and only a few points separating them. The lower end of that group is 12. The upper end is 19. So we're going to have to watch these next sprints closely. 2 left to go. 6 laps showing. Our second to last sprint now underway. The current leaders at the front of the field of 4. Christian Miller there. Right behind him is Andy Baker for the yellow and blue. Now the full-on attack coming. It looks like Team White's going to have to kind of just power through this as best he can. Staying down in the saddle, but just able to drag this thing out. Holding on, trying to find 5 more for his team. Yellow and blue charging in good here. Andy Baker's got enough for 5, and I think Christian Miller might have gotten the 3. Team Orange trying to find his way to do an exchange immediately following that sprint. Able to get there. Write it down, but we're clear. We're clear. Race is still underway. At 2 to go, Orange riding on his own here. So the Orange team down a rider, but still in the race at 2 to go. Team White starting to feel a little bit of the late lap challenge here to hold on to the speed. The front of the field is yellow and blue. Currently, that group of 3 make it 4, but red down a lap, so not in the same lap as the leaders. Still eligible for points now that he's been called down. The final sprint incoming. Double the points as we're going to wrap this thing up. 1 to go, 1 to go. One to go, last lap, 1 to go. I have them as our current race leaders is Team Yellow and Blue, and hoping to get enough points here on this final sprint to finally close this thing out. It looks like it might be our KW Racing Center Cycles team that'll get enough points to win this thing. Our first race, the Fred's race, Madison all wrapping up here. Nicely done for our competitors. All of our competitors will make their way around and exit on the back straight as they're finishing up. All right. Obviously, a moment there of concern for the Orange team competitor. It went down for a moment. Everything looks to be okay. We kept the racing going, and it looks like we had a close finish there. I'm going to wait for the official call on which team came out on top of that one. Up next, though, is the Cliff Bar Kiddie Kilo. So we're going to be bringing out our young riders. Time to get out the cameras and have some fun here. We've got our young riders coming on the track for their fun lap around the Velodrome. Now, I've been so busy making sure that all the racing things are going on. You guys know what's going on in the race and not thinking too much about our jobs as spectators. Now, I'd like to remind everybody that if you haven't warmed up your hands and your voice yet, this is the perfect opportunity to do just that. So everybody here at the track can hear as they roll by your voices. They can hear your cheers. They can hear your encouragement from the sidelines. Pretty easy when it's the kids on their fun little bikes as they come on by. So we'll make sure to give them a lot of noise as they come rolling through. They're getting all the last minute coaching here. Are they going around the track one time? Oh boy. And go! Woohoo! Keep it going all the way around. We got the training wheels. We got the push bikes out. Look at this. Rocking the Striders. Yeah. Oh, man. We're getting big fast here. Oh, I see all the big bikes queued up. Very focused on getting cheered by corner one instead of pushing the bike along. Love it. That is awesome. Madison final results are posted on the infield from our first event. Madison results are posted. Making sure to give our first group enough time to get around. One of our visions here, one of the main purposes of our Velodrome is to make sure that our youth in our community are educated about safe riding. And of course, we'd encourage them to give track racing at some point a try in their futures. We believe track racing is an incredibly fun and eventually a great community building sport, because we got a big family of riders out here. Hey, our next group is off. The big bike's starting to come out here. There's gonna be a fast and furious lap. One of the ways that we do that, of course, is that we have our Try the Tracks, totally free classes for young people to come out and see how the track is for them. We've got our week-long junior courses that riders can sign up for. We've got, of course, the ongoing junior team here at the track. Keep it going. Almost there. Our first finisher coming around. The smallest pedal bike here tonight. It's like, guys, you're not cheering loud enough. I can't pedal. Oh, okay, there we go. Whew. Powered by support. I love it. Oh, yeah. The Ninja Turtles trying to sprint here, but looks like Tie-Dye's taking the front. Woo! Nice work. Exiting into the grass as they come across. Nice work. Fantastic technique from all our young riders today. Looks like we've got one more group that's going to be coming out here. Oh, I almost missed. We have one more finisher. She's looking at the crowd like, hey, are you here tonight? Woo! And now for the big ones. One more group to come on out here onto the track for their fun lap in the Cliff Bar Kiddie Kilo. On deck, we got the Masters 35 Plus Keirin Heats coming up. And they are off. One to go, one to go. We pull these off about every other week. We do the first and third Fridays of the month throughout the summer months while we're still in season. The Velodrome does kind of start shutting down in September as we consider that the rainy months. And here we go. Look at this. The full helmet with the sprint form up and out of the saddle. Handling that bike like a pro. Nicely done. Oh, yeah. Keeping it quick. Using some of the track there. Down that sprinter's lane. Taking notes. Very nice. The smiles are the best part. And with that, we're going to start waving our kids back towards the entrance area to get them over to collect, not their Cliff Bars today, but they get medals. Because you know what? Today's the beginning of our championship, so why not? You showed up for championships, you get a medal. Come on over. The biggest thing is keep coming on out and keep having fun here at the Velodrome. Again, we do our Cliff Bar Kiddie Kilo on the first and third Fridays of the month throughout the season. Hope to see our young riders again. How about one more round of applause for our kids and, of course, Mom and Dad for bringing them out. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Getting into the ready area, our next race is going to be coming up here very quickly. Our 35 through 54 Masters Keirin Heats. Our first group is Walker, Lee, Loffelhose, Dong, and Yaska. Our second heat is Snoblin, Robson, Brian, Rogers, Darlene, and Bruno. Coming up next, these Keirin Heats, we're going to be seeing some pretty fast racing as our fields are going to be brought up to top speed by our E-Pacer. First, of course, are the heats, which will help set the qualifying groups to go into some major finals. We'll decide which racers go to which of the finals based on their finishing positions here in just a moment. Up first, Brett Walker, Hyun Lee, Ron Zolfholz, Ken Dong, Pekka Yaska. In these upcoming heats, 3 riders will be advancing to a major final. Places 4 through 6 advance to the minor final. In that case, there'll be 3 advancing up, 2 advancing down out of this group. Getting ourselves set to start here. On the inside, Pekka Yaska in lane 1. Hans Olfeholz in lane 2. Looks like lane 3 will be Brett Walker in the red right down the middle. In lane 4 in the black and purple of Dyna Race, or pink. Oh man, is Ken Dong. I've had a long week, folks. Pekka, yeah, I can't even speak anymore. Hyun Lee is in the 5th lane for Broadmark Capital. 2 racers will be going to the minor final of this group, 3 to the majors. On deck, if we have ready to go, Peter Snowblin, Mike Robson, David Bryan, Mike Rogers, Mike Darlene, and Keith Bruneau. That is going to be Heat B. Signal for the pacer is now on its way. So we got our e-bike getting started up on the back straight. Going to be setting the pace for the group. They'll never cross in front of that rear tire. About ready to get this thing started on the signal from our official. Pacer exiting the turn. Riders ready. Now, the way they line up behind the pacer is actually predetermined. This used to be a little bit different years past. If you come out and watch racing in the past, you would know that there's a bit of a sprint to get just behind the pacer. Now, it's based on the lane that you start in. So on this first part of this first lap, lane 1 must come up to the pacer and be in the first position. Lane 2 in second. Third lane will be right in the middle, and so on and so forth. So that's the way they line up in the same order that I didn't call so well, but I tried. Pekka Jaska right behind the bike there. That yellow and black for the Split Mango team is Hans Olfenholz wearing that red helmet. Britt Walker again right in the middle. You can see his Audi Racing team in that strong red color with the white helmet on. Dyna Racing got a few teammates here. Ken Dong in that black and pink. Hyun Lee for Pied Broadmark is the 5th racer in that group. 3 riders advance up. So the goal here isn't to win. It's just to be near the front of this field. You don't want to be on the other end of that dividing line. A little bit more than half of these racers will get to race for 1st through 6th place. The rest will be racing for 7th through 11th place when they get to the finals. 2 to go. So this is the final half lap now. The job of the pacer has been almost finished up. On that e-bike, we got a speedometer. It's helping Amara bring the pacer up to top speed. She's going to pull to the left, get out of the way, and now let the field do the racing that they want to do. Now, our track is pretty big and a long ways to still go. That's 600 meters of distance, so not unusual to see this where Pekka kind of slows out the speed a little bit. He's waiting to see somebody come into his field of view before he makes a move himself. 1 to go, top 3 advance. That's a hard place to be in as Pekka's trying to do a perfect job of timing when he needs to go. He has the hardest job whenever he's on his wheel. If he's going to stay at the front, he just needs to put in a whole lot of power, and that's what he's going to have to do right now. Hans Olfenholz is up and out of the saddle, making a move in and around the top, trying to get into the top 3. Hyun Lee and Pekka Jaska currently there, but Brett Walker starting to accelerate a little bit here. Hans Olfenholz looking around saying, anybody close? Not quite. Pekka Jaska will hold on as Brett Walker advances around the outside edge to be in the top 3 as well. Looks like the initial response, Olfenholz, Jaska, and Walker are advancing 3. Our other 2 will race again in the minor finals. Snowblin, Robson, Bryan, Rogers, Darlene, and Bruneau are coming up on track now as Heat B will be competing with the same rules, all playing their part. Coming on up next. 10 through 12-year-old juniors. Your 6-lap scratch race is coming up soon. We've got this Keirin heat, and then the 10 to 12-year-olds are going to be coming out for their 6-lap scratch. Looks like Elite Racing's Keith Bruneau is taking lane number 1 down on the inside edge. So picking lane 1 will be up behind the bike, of course. Dyna Racing's David Bryan is in lane 2. Mike Darlene for Center Cycles in the blue is in 3rd lane. The black kit is Mike Rogers in lane 4. for single malt. Our 10-speed hero rider in the black with some gray there in lane 5 is Mike Robson. Peter Snowman and the gray kid on the far outside is in lane 6. And the signal for the pacer. We're on our way. Pacer exiting the turn. Riders ready. And off we go. 4 laps. Once again with the pacer, bringing it up gradually to speed. To give you a sense of where that's at, we're always in that 30-ish mile range when we're talking about getting into top speed for our bikes. Not quite the top speed, but that's what we're aiming for at the end of this acceleration from the pacer, depending on field and depending on our target zone for the group we're with. The upper 20s right into that 30-mile range is where we're looking to get them to. So we're looking down that speedometer. Our thanks to Greg Cycles for helping us get a hold of this fantastic e-bike solution that's been helping us out for the last couple of years. So as promised, Bruno in lane 1 comes right up behind the bike in that blue kit for Elite Racing. One of our Portland competitors, so Oregon being represented in position 1 in our field today. The rest of our field, some of our local regulars here at the Velodrome competing for their medals. This, our Masters 35 to 54 competitors for their Keirins. Again, these are the heats. You have to make it through the heats in the top 3 to be able to compete for top 6 and what will eventually be a podium place in this Keirin event. 2 to go. Last lap with this pacer on the back straight. It'll make its way off. 10 through 12-year-olds are set to start for the scratch in just a few very quick laps from now. Keith Bruno, unsurprisingly, loves a fast finish. He says, no thanks, I'm not leading this. He's going to pull up to the right pretty quickly. Mike Robson, though, he doesn't mind a quick move here for a longer distance. He's going to try to take that sprinter's lane and go around the track the long way now. Coming down into that sprinter's lane well ahead of the bell and well ahead of that finish line. Mike Rogers is the next closest rider behind him, but Keith Bruno found a good wheel, and he's got a very fast finish. We've seen that time and time again here at our Velodrome, so he's in 3rd position now. Coming through the turn, trying to advance. Mike Robson looking like he's going to be able to hold on to this one. Mike Rogers and Bruno. The initial reaction there, of course, Rogers, Bruno, and Robson. Doing a quick roll-out for our juniors on the home straight here before we bring them out for their race. If you'd like to learn more about our facility and have any questions about what you see in front of you, maybe about racing, about what we're doing throughout the summer months, any of our classes, or anything else that you'd like to know more about, the most convenient way to access that information is to start by checking out our website, velodrome.org. Again, that is velodrome.org, an easy website to remember, and probably the best domain name in all of the velodromes around. You can check us out there on our website and check out the calendar for the year. Check out our FAQ, just kind of browse around and take a look at things like our racebook and other documents that support what we're doing here, to get a sense of what we're all about. We are operated by the nonprofit, the Marymore Velodrome Association, in operation since 1975 in the building of this fine facility that you see before you. This nonprofit has been operating it since its original building in the time. Again, head to velodrome.org if you want to find out a little bit more about our organization and all the things that go on at this facility throughout the year. Coming up next, our 10 through 12-year-old juniors going to be competing for this 6-lap scratch. We're going to bring them up to the rail. On deck will be our 13 and 14-year-olds for their event. I got one preem, and I got it right here. It's the big old Stanley Legendary Cup, or I should say, the vacuum sealed classic bottle. That's what they're going to call it. So I don't know how many times a 10 through 12-year-old junior is going to salivate over this, but I know mom and dad would be pretty excited if they could win one of these. So I'm going to ring the bell up here on a lap. And Stanley's got a pretty cool prize on that lap for the first rider across the line, just to make things a little bit more interesting. Our thanks to Stanley for their sponsorship, a great new Seattle partner, helping us out this year. You can check out more about their products online at stanley-pmi.com. And I got a preem to lead the lap. Stanley's tossing in the bottle on the opening lap. Legendary bottle from Stanley on lap 1. Next time around, first rider picks up the goods. Uh-oh. JC's off the front. Looking for Tammy. Hoping she wants to take home some cool new Stanley gear. JC's gonna earn some brownie points today. Oh, yeah, JC making the big attack around the track. Taking home the Stanley Preem. 5 to go. So before you see, these are 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. Pretty young riders joining us out here on the track. Some have been at it for a couple years, though. They are relentless young riders. Some of them have been coming out here to train for the past couple years and participating in our junior team now in this last season. In fact, our preem getter, one of those riders that made his trip down to Carson, California for some competition in nationals. Liquid Velo, giving the signal. Dave Chipche says, go, go, go. 4 to go. It's Ben Jurassic, bib 84, Liquid Velo, black and green. Just in a solo effort now. JC's like, man, I was catching my breath after that big sprint. Why you gotta go so fast? So Ben putting on a nice show here. He's got the endurance. He's just gonna keep rolling. Getting down in a nice, comfortable position on the bike. 3 to go, 3 to go. From the medaling standpoint, it is worth reminding everybody here that our young competitors will still be split for our boys and our girls on the podium and medals. So there's a race within the race going on here. Right now, the fastest boy in the group off the front, black and green. Again, Ben Jurassic just now coming on the home straight. The rest of the field trying to chase back on. 2 to go for our young rider. 2 to go. Scene 2 to go. Yeah, JC now alone in the chase, and here comes our field. 2 more to go. 2 to go. And there's the bell. 1 to go for Ben. 1 to go. On the back straight, the next closest rider is JC, still in the black and blue with that neon helmet. Looks like it's about to be a finish for everybody if Ben can catch back onto our field. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a race. Our juniors should know it. You're in a sprint for your finish right now as the juniors are catching. So here we go. Ben's back on the sprint. They're all sprinting for 3rd overall as Ben's going to be picking up the 1st place. And looks like Keegs at the front of this thing. So bib 151 will be our 3rd place finisher across the line and our first girl to make it to the line in this race. So that big exciting finish was for 1st and 3rd essentially. And though he's all on his own, he's got the Stanley Legendary bottle to console him. And, of course, a second place finish today. Don't be afraid to put your hands together for JC, doing a good job today on the hard solo ride. "13 and 14-year-olds are getting a quick rollout, and then we're going to get them on the track. And we do have another preem on the lap. It's the classic bottle from Stanley. Just as a reminder, bell will ring. You'll get one preem on the race. Eight laps on this scratch race. If you didn't pick it up on the last one, nothing weird about a scratch race. It's just a number of laps, and the finisher to get to the line first is the winner. You'll see another one of those ones getting started here after the neutral. Neutral lap to make sure everybody's got a fair start. No one has an unfair advantage from the rail. You'll see a lot of riders in the same jersey. That's the blue and black jersey of the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. That's our officially licensed team here. We've got a squad of about 35 kids registered for the team currently, growing from 0 just a couple years ago, so a fairly new team, but we're seeing some success with that. We've got riders of other teams out here. They got some jerseys of other teams like Liquid Velo. You can see in the black and green. The NWCC team looks like Daniel Scoville in there in the white with the blue helmet. Now getting 8 to go. One preem during the race. You'll hear the bell from up here. Otherwise, we are off to the races. 8 to go. Again, boys and girls will be scored separately, but they're going to race as a field. So we'll see how this one plays off. That's Itai Malikoff, one of our local competitors for the Jerry Baker team, at the front. Danielle Scoville in the white with the blue helmet takes the lead position now. They're going to be kind of in this exchanging pace line formation for just a bit. Pretty quick first lap, though. Looks like we're trying to put the hammer down a little bit and make it fast right away. 7 laps on the card showing now. 7 to go. Itai finds himself again at the front. Competing regularly here in our Cat 4 men's field. Itai is looking like he's going to try to set the pace early, try to establish some dominance if possible, making it fast right from the beginning of the race. Our field doing a pretty good job matching on to the speed. Taking just a moment to catch their breath before Itai will try to re-establish it once again on the back straight now. That's going to be Joe Spranger moving to the front of the field now, seeing 5 to go. 5 riders in the field here together, 5 to go. Scoville at the front, right behind her, Gilchrist, Lucy Gilchrist for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. You see the winner of the last race, Jurassic's older brother, Isaac, in there too, in the black and green. And Shelly Guthrie getting some encouragement on the home straight for our Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, seeing 5 to go. If you'd like to support the Velodrome, an easy way to do that is give us a thumbs up on our social media fronts. Be sure to give us a like on our Facebook page. Search for the Jerry Baker Velodrome on Facebook and find the fan zone. Give us a thumbs up there and you'll get notified when we make posts related to the track. You can also give us a follow on Twitter at JB Velodrome. That's at JB Velodrome for our Twitter and Instagram accounts. And most recently, you can also follow us on YouTube, where we're streaming the action tonight and during our evening sessions this weekend. Search for the channel, JB Space Velodrome. Just type that into the search bar. You'll find us in no time. We're streaming live right now. Don't be afraid to give us that subscribe, hit the alert button, and share it wide and far. And here we go. I got 3 to go. The Stanley bottle's coming out this time. The legendary classic Stanley bottle in its beautiful green, made right here in the Seattle area. I got to be thinking right before the race started that Mom and Dad are texting into the infield, hey, if you get the Stanley Cup, you get an extra couple bucks. Go get that Stanley Cup. No, okay, not that Stanley Cup. The classic bottle, the legendary one. That's right, the thermos that'll keep your stuff hot or cold forever. Let's see you. It looks like Joe Spranger is going to be taking home some goods for the fam. 2 to go, 2 to go. They're very interested on, of course, the most important part of any race, winning. So it looks like they're going to be putting in their efforts in what will be a quick finish upcoming here shortly as they're coming into their bell lap. Itai at the front. He's got Jurassic there on his rear wheel, starting to swing up to the out of the way. Now Joe Spranger is going to take the front. Maybe he wants the lead, thinking about a 400-meter effort here as the bell's ringing. 1 to go. Put your hands together. 1 to go for our 13 and 14-year-olds. Help them out. Good high-speed racing from this field. They've been keeping it at a quick tempo. I've been impressed by the speed so far. Now we come into the sprint. Itai's watching. He says, go ahead and go for it, Isaac. I'm going to try to counter you. But Isaac's been not doing as much work as Itai has, so now Itai finds himself having to climb up a bit of a hill to try to hold on to the speed of Isaac. And it's going to be Liquid Velo pulling away a little bit. Itai's starting to close down the gap just a little bit here, but it looks like our rider from Liquid Velo has got enough speed to pull away and win this one tonight. Well played by our black and green rider. And out of the field, Spranger's got enough to take the next position. Looks like our first girl out of the field to finish, Scoville, will be that finisher. On deck, but not yet on the track, is the Keirin final, so the Masters 55 plus. And nice job for our riders in the 13 through 14-year-old scratch race. And now back to some Keirin racing. We've got ourselves a group here for the finals. We're going to make sure that they get set for their positions to start. We got the Masters 55 plus for their final is Eric Johnson, Alistair Lay, Vern Cole, Eric Waterman, Brett Seahorn, Kurt Johnson, and Mark Sasso. Our competitors coming out for the Keirin here in just a bit. More racing throughout the weekend. We'll be back here for another evening session tomorrow. We've got some morning sessions. We're going to be doing a lot of racing this weekend. If you want to check out more about Fred's Race, our regional championships here at the track, we'd encourage you to go to fredsrace.com. Just type in fredsrace.com, just as it sounds. Nothing fancy. And you'll get right to the homepage, a landing page put together by our team. Eric Johnson, of course, the main man behind this race for so many years, helping us promote and create the special weekend event. This race started with the name Fred's Race at the passing of our good friend Fred C. Raidberger, known for bringing you and a friend, whether you wanted to or not, out to race. It was really about bringing together and building community wherever he went, and it was with his bike, of course. And Fred would go to this race, of course. He'd go to any race. He'd be there, cheering on friends, racing it himself, building a community around the bikes. When Fred passed, we all felt that void and needed something to fill it. We decided to start this great race. And again, thanks to Eric Johnson and all the years of work that he put into creating the race. He's going to be actually racing in this event. In just a moment, you'll see him out here. And in his spirit, we carried on the Fred C. Raidberger Memorial, bringing together racers of all ages to race in every type of racing category possibly can over one weekend, and celebrating their successes for their work in the season. This is our Keirin final in lane 1 for the Burnaby Velodrome Club is Mark Sasso down in lane 1. Lane 2 for the Major Taylor Project Racing Team in the blue and red, that's Eric Johnson. Brett Seahorn in lane 3, Kurt Johnson 4, Vern Cole in lane 5, Eric Waterman lane 6, and lane 7, Alistair Lay racing today in our final. Pacer exiting the turn. Riders, ready. And 4 to go for our final. This 4 of the top positions in this field. So again, it'll be Mark Sasso, our Burnaby Velodrome Club rider, coming down south from north of that border, will be the one jumping up behind the bike. Looks like there's a little bit of fight thinking about who might want to take that position, which they are allowed to do here through the rest of the race. If they want to reconfigure or vie for some spots a little bit, maybe reposition themselves. Everybody's going to fall right back into position, though. Seeing 3 to go that time. There are medals on the line here. So these are our regional championships. Whoever shows up to race in their age category will be going head-to-head. And today we've got these 7 competitors all fighting to be on top of the podium today. Our Keirin well underway. Got a couple laps left with the pacer. A lap left, I should say, before we're going to pull that thing out of the way. Sasso still on the front in the black. Our international competitor joining us today. Again, the Northwest Regional, including our friends from north of the border. Pacer pulling down, and the field waiting to see a new lead position. It's going to be, looks like Brett Seahorn going to try to push forward a little bit here. Coming out of the middle of the field and trying to be at the front of this thing before the bell is ringing. Seahorn looking for somebody to be behind him. No one there yet. 1 to go. 1 to go. Top 3 on the line for our field. It's going to be Vern Cole and Eric Waterman starting to line things up. Vern Cole in the black and green liquid velo. Dyna Racing right in his wheel. Good acceleration from Waterman. One of our good friends here in the local Seattle area. Going to be coming around the right-hand side. And he's got a strong finish against Vern Cole, who's just going to have to drag race it on the inside. Eric Waterman trying to get the speed for Dyna Racing. Looks like it's going to be Waterman taking it over Cole. And Alistair Lay will challenge out of the field to find 3rd place and up onto the podium. .35 through 54 finals are now coming up. So we got those qualifiers earlier. We start with the minor final and then go into the major. Our minor final of Mike Darlene, Peter Snoblin, Hyun Lee, David Bryan, and Ken Dong coming up. Following them, the major final of Brett Walker, Pekka Yaska, Mike Rogers, Mike Robson, Keith Pernod, and Hans Lofelholz. We are going to do the younger junior podiums. Our 10 to 14-year-olds is coming up after the Keirin finals are finished here for the Masters 35 to 54 riders. Again, younger juniors, anyone 10 to 14, we're going to try to do podiums quickly here following the Keirin finals that are about to begin. After that, we're going to start getting into some scratch races. First up would be the elite men for their 20-lap scratch. In lane 1, Mike Darlene for Center Cycles, Ken Dong for Dyna Racing in lane 2, Hyun Lee in the 3rd lane right down the middle, David Bryan for Dyna Racing in the 4th lane, and the 5th lane, Peter Snoblin on the outside edge. Pacer on its way for the minor final. Riders ready. Off we go. Darlene moving up to take the bike first. The competition now is for what officially will be 7th through 11th place as this race is coming to a close. On deck, the race for 1st through 6th. Getting up to speed here in the minor final. The pace are going to be coming around one more time. Scene 2 to go. And the high-speed finish here is going to be led out currently by the pacer, and in just a moment it'll be Mike Darlene at the front in the blue for Center Cycles. Keep your eye right in the middle of that field, though. Got a good position to try to reposition themselves, and right away, Hyun Lee actually is going to come out of the saddle. He's thinking that 600 meters ain't too far for me. Piat Broadmark making a big move down the back straight. Trying to leave this field in the dust. It's a long effort for the Piat Broadmark competitor. And here's about the time that you might hit a bit of a wall. And just as that's happening, riders behind him are going to start finding the speed they need, using a little bit of slipstream to reposition themselves. So Mike Darlene finds a second effort he needs, and it'll be Center Cycles coming up and around the outside. Darlene, then Dong will go 1-2 across the line on that one. Next up, our medals competition for this group. We got 1st through 6th being competed for. Now for the top 6 positions in the Keirin competition tonight, coming up onto the track. It looks like Mike Robson pulled that inside lane. So Robson in the black and gray kit for 10-Speed Hero is lined up inside. Pekka Jaska next to him in black, also with the red sleeves on. Kind of more of the silver helmet going on there. Mike Rogers in the black kit for single malt Velo, so a lot of dark colored kits on the inside. He's got the black helmet on in lane 3. Audi Racing in the all red, the white helmet. It's Brett Walker in lane 4. Hans Opelholz, split mango in that black and yellow kit with the red helmet on, is in lane 5. Lane 6 will be Elite Racing's Keith Bruneau for the major final. Again, top 6 in podiums will be implicated in the finishing positions in this race. Up after this, we're going to try to run a quick podium for the younger juniors that showed up today. And then we're going to come back for some scratch racing. The elite men coming up after those podiums for their 20-lap scratch. Don't be shy. Come on over and join us in the beverage garden this evening. Our $5 purchases do raise money for the track here. Of course, our great beverage sponsors, Mac and Jack's Brewery, OS Winery, and Locust Ciders, helping us out once again in 2019. All those purchases help raise funds for the Marymore Velodrome Association. We ask you keep your purchases within the yellow fenced area. Pacer is on its way. Pacer exiting the turn. Riders ready. And off we go for laps of racing. Once again, this will lead to a podium. I see 4 riders at the front that I see here almost every single week competing at our Velodrome, and 2 of our out-of-towners on their wheel. Opelholz and Bruneau at the back end. Enriching our racing this weekend by coming up across the border from Oregon, of course, jumping in from down south to make the racing faster, more interesting today. Three to go. And Pekka starts to see somebody in his right side here starting to reposition themselves. What's going on here? It looks like Rogers wants to start cruising to the front, and Robson says, sure. Getting bunched up here a little bit. This is going to be an interesting race as nobody's going to just kind of fall into position behind the bike. Rogers decides to be the one that's right behind it himself, but everybody else is in kind of a 2-lane formation behind him. So Rogers may be volunteering to be this lead out to start the race out, as now the bike's out of the way. Rogers still keeping the pedals pushing downwards, trying to keep this thing fast. The rider's benefiting from this most right now, or a couple bikes behind him, though, is getting up to speed at 1 to go. Rogers still at the front. Podium will be determined as these riders come across the line. First, second, third, all those riders fighting for the medals. It's now going to be out of the saddle. Mike Robson and Hans Opelholz with the second move. Look at the speed out of the rider from Split Mango. And the second ever coming in for Keith Bruneau. 3 riders across the track. Here we go, folks. Hans Opelholz down the middle. Keith Bruneau with the huge speed around the outside. Bruneau will fly in for the finish. Mike Robson on the inside, I think, will find himself with a silver. And I thought Hans Opelholz was coming in fast. He'll still hold on for the bronze. Bruneau with a great move around the outside, and launching that last 200-meter effort is enough to take the event in our fast finish for the Keirin. And on the infield, we're just going to carry out a quick little presentation here for our top finishers on our infield podium and recognize them for their efforts today. Our 10 through 12-year-old girls look to be on top of the podium right now for their scratch race. Congratulations to our 10 to 12-year-old girls competitors in this scratch race. On deck, the elite men for their scratch race. We got a lot of registered competitors coming up here in just a bit. We're going to see some pretty fast racing. Those riders are already starting to get themselves set on the warm-up circle. Again, up next, our elite men for a 20-lap scratch is the next event. Our 10 to 12-year-old boys champions, congratulations. And your 13 to 14-year-old girls champions in the scratch race. Congratulations. And more round of applause, our junior boys, 13 to 14-year-old scratch race champions. And with that, we are ready to begin our next race. The podiums are finished up. We will call elite men to the rail. Scratch race ready to start. Elite men, come on over for your scratch race. Thanks for everybody's patience here as we recognize our young competitors for their great racing today. And once again, as our riders are coming up to the rail, I'll hold up the demo model up here at the announcer stand. If you're looking for one of these beautiful classic thermoses today, I got one preem for one from Stanley. One preem in the scratch today from Stanley. Bell will come for me some point in the race. That's right, you heard from the official. It's a 20-lap scratch. You saw the juniors show us how this is done. There will be a bell at 1 to go. Otherwise, it's the racer's race. They can do it however they like. They're currently in the neutral. We'll start them at turn 4 as long as they're all together. In a big field like this, you got 26, maybe 27 starters. We got a big group starting it off tonight, so we want to make sure nobody has any unfair advantages at the beginning of the race. In a 20-lap event, you've got just enough of an endurance question that some riders may attempt to apply a really difficult pace or speed, but it's also just a short enough race that quick finishers have a good place to race in this thing as well. So the 20-lapper is a great distance as it allows any rider to find their ability to get away from this field. Although the endurance riders may have a hard time in this, it's just a short enough distance that the sprinters are going to work hard to keep this thing together. We're going to see how this one goes in just a moment as they're getting the signal that the racing is underway. 20 to go. On this opening lap, we see a nice stretched out formation from the field. That's signaling to us as spectators that if you were out there, you'd be feeling like we're going pretty quick. The more single file the group is, the more in relative terms they're going fast. Of course, everything's relative here, but for the most part, if a rider's feeling like they have to hide behind somebody else, it must mean that they don't want to do too much work themselves. The faster you're going, the more important it is to draft. The back of the field sitting together a little bit, watching this front group begin to push away. Still plenty of laps to go, and this field is kind of testing things out to see how things are going to go tonight. So a couple of riders just trying things out the front, move things along, see how the response is. Testing out the waters. Coming to the front there, that's Mike Robson. We just saw him race a couple Keirins. He's already back on the bike out here for the scratch race. Martinez with the Pipe Broadmark team now coming to the front and bringing with them a few riders that are just edging off the front ever so much. Unless they put in a really big effort in this scratch race, you're not going to see a whole lot of daylight form, no breakaways. It's going to take a fair amount of power and commitment from a group if they're going to want to get away, I imagine. Seeing 17 to go now as they come across the line. I mentioned in the neutral lap, 27 competitors in the field. So a great size field for our Elite Men competition tonight. Constantly new riders coming to the front to keep things going along at 16 laps to go. Split Mango, David Miller pulling up and out of the way. Now all strung out, so now you can really see the signal of speed to everybody out here. Find a wheel to get behind as this field is moving along quick tonight for Fred's race. No question, when you add just a few more competitors coming in from out of town, things start to pick up quickly. 15 laps on the cards as Artem Schmidt will pull up and out of the way. Peter Newlands, number 5, takes the front for just a moment, not wanting to be up there for too long. So definitely a lot of rotations in that last group pulling out of the way. So some riders trying to avoid too much work early at 14 laps to go. Alexander Merson of the Trek Red Truck Racing team comes to the front of the field and puts in a big effort. Not a name we see here at the track all too often, but certainly known for some very fast finishes both on the track and the criterium world. Our Trek Red Truck Racing rider here at 13 to go is trying to establish a tempo that will benefit him in the end. Pulls up and out of the way and waits for some reinforcements as he's put in his effort. Wants to see who's game tonight for some fast racing. He's starting to see a group of 6 or 7 come up to join the action at the front. Maybe getting more than they bargained for. Now a group of 5 starting to hurt this race a little bit. You're going to start to see things snap apart a little bit at 12 to go. Baker, bib 99, and Kenny Williams, bib 1. On either end of the spectrum there in terms of our numbers for our elite riders. Take the front, and they're coming back together in this group of what looks to be about 10 riders. Just barely forming some space there at the front. Not organized or working quite hard enough at the front of this thing to break away just yet. And 11 to go. I got the Stanley Preem to lead the lap. The Preem from Stanley to lead the lap. Get your hands on the classic bottle from Stanley. Man, nobody in the field is going to be going for that one. In fact, as they see 2 riders rolling away, they begin to sit up. Trek Red Truck Racing. I believe the rider here coming through turn 4. Merson at 10 to go. Merson taking home the Stanley goods and has a lot of track behind him. So quickly. The track has totally changed formation here as one rider is getting off the front. So Trek Red Truck Racing is the lone rider out the front with Merson trying to break away from this field. We're under the halfway point now, and we've got some excited riders out of the field that do not want to let this strong rider get away from them. Just looking at the pace of the catch right now, it looks like things might close down quicker than our lead rider may want it to, but he's going to still make them work for it. That's an important part of this, is you've got to put in the effort now to make them put in the effort, and as soon as you feel like things aren't going to work out anymore, I've done what I need to do, maybe I can sit up and get back in there and try that again later. 8 to go. Endurance going to be playing an important part, and more than I thought it would, because this has been a pretty fast 20-lapper just because of the constant moves off the front. We've seen our field making it tough tonight. Seven to go, and now another group off the front. We've got 3 pushing away. Jay Delaney, the rider in that dark, rich red kind of color, purple color, that takes the lead position, now gets out of the way for Lost Boys Racing. Dylan Davies of the Langlois Brown Racing Team in the white. A winner of the 10-mile scratch at the GP this year, has made a reappearance at Fred's race. Joined by Kenny Williams, bid number 1. So there's quite a bit of enduro power there. That's a lot of riders with distance abilities that are coming together off the front. If they can get really organized into a pace, they might be able to make either this race really hard for the chasing field now, or maybe even put them in themselves to be in a position to win this race, be in the top 3. So right now you can see they're doing that. Each one taking their turn and putting in quite a bit of effort here. Maybe not enough. At 5 to go, we're going to have to see, as now a couple riders starting to organize out of the field too. Andy Baker looking like he's getting hungry. That's bib 99 in the black and yellow making his move forward. He's spending a lot of energy to try to get up there. I think that's John Bowie in the black and green also trying to cover that distance now. This isn't terrible for the front 3. They're still going to have themselves in a small field and maybe guarantee top 5 in what is a very hard scratch race tonight at Fred's race. Jay Delaney, the rider that got this thing kind of started off for the Lost Boy Racing Team, bib 27 at the front again. Baker right with them. There's our Langlois racer, Dylan Davies, bib 3, now slotting up to the front. And what this is essentially doing is just trimming things down a little bit. The lead group has slowly grown over time. Riders that are willing to take that jump across the bridge, put in that effort, and then try to be in the race are there. But guess what this means? They're all tired. And as soon as they're getting tired, the back part of the field has an opportunity to get back in this thing. Maybe not, though, as now it's going to be Merson again on the move. Who's that rider in green joining in? That's going to be Fountain Cycling's Dave Richter trying to jump in there. It looks like that might be Dave Miller for the Split Mango team, I believe, maybe trying to get in the mix as well. So the front of this race continues to change. The only thing consistent is I see Dylan Davies is there again in the white, trying to be in a good position, and we're awfully close to the finish here. Our 20-lap scratch coming down to it. It's 2 to go. 2 to go. Richter thinks he's found himself in a good spot. Dylan Davies trying to keep it quick, but Richter doesn't want to pull, so he's going to get out of the sprinter's lane, slowing the lead down again. This makes it awfully hard for Davies and his group of 3 to stay away. Richter, known as the fast finisher around in our circuit, pulls up and doesn't want to take the lead, and it's going to be slowing up as they're coming into the bell. Who wants to take this thing? It's 1 to go. Who wants to finish it? 1 to go. 1 to go. Everybody's sitting up waiting for the big attack. I'm watching a couple of riders. We got Dylan Davies and Andrew Carlberg side by side. Our local fast finisher's got himself in the perfect position as the front slowed up. They couldn't get rid of him. It's Carlberg back at the front. I don't think anybody can catch this guy. Once he gets into the front of the field, he's gone. Carlberg coming around the corner. Makes it through to the top of the scratch race. It'll be Davies and Richter going 2 and 3. And that'll do it. Couple more finishers still coming through. All right, and there we have it. Our fast finishing scratch race taking their way off the track now as our elite men 20 lap scratch race all wrapped up. We have our women and junior scratch race coming up. Elite Masters women combined with men, the boys and the girls, 15 to 18 year olds, with a 12 lap scratch are coming onto the track next. And come up to the rail. Looks like we are clear now. On the track now, we have our 12-lap scratch race for Elite Masters women and our juniors 15 through 18 competitors making a combined field today. 12-lap scratch, one preem in the race from Stanley. On deck, we have all Masters racing in a 25-lap points race coming up after this. The Masters for a 25-lap points race coming up after this. They are on deck. And racing it away, 12 to go in the scratch. And our field picking it up pretty quickly here on this very first lap, starting to move things along. So both our fields demonstrating tonight that they're here to race pretty quick, at least initially. Trying to kick it up a notch at 11 to go. That's Skylar Samuelson pulling up and out of the way, bib 120. To go as Edwards is at the front and pulling out of the way for bib 107, and at Williams for Center Cycles. I got the legendary classic bottle from Stanley to lead the lap. Stanley's got a bottle to lead the lap. Got a bottle to lead the lap from Stanley. One rider will be lucky enough to take that one home. I think that's Parker Swanstrom for the Dr. Walker Sports Chiropractic Youth Cycling Team. Trying to take the lead position, but the laser's on the move now. That's Henry Kaiser for the Jerry Baker Jr. team. The speedster getting up on the gears and moving in quick. Challenging for the preem. It looks like it's going to be Kaiser making the second move and will be good enough for the goods. An official's warning to number 82, Swanstrom, for exiting the sprinter's lane on that last sprint. Again, just a warning from the officials for Swanstrom for exiting the sprinter's lane. No impact on the race standings as of yet. In case you're curious on the outside, from the rule standpoint, warnings that our officials give that are called the official warnings, you can receive one for basically no penalty. The second one will result in action. After the big sprint for the preem, it starts to break things apart. Now, the hard thing about this is we're just going to score this thing as a race, but we do have a lot of fields represented in here. We have some junior fields to consider. Of course, we have our elite women and our masters women competing in these fields, so we'll be scoring them apart a little bit, but at this point, we're watching a field of 4. It's formed at the front. Swanstrom pulls out of the way for Samuelson. It's Skylar Samuelson that now is at the front. Carl Pratis and Henry Kaiser, 2 Jerry Baker Jr. riders, are also in that group of 4. Don't forget, if you're enjoying racing tonight, that we do this pretty frequently throughout the summer months. We have more racing continuing right on to next week. As long as it's not raining and it's a Friday night in the summer months, we are here at 7 o'clock. You can find us here every week doing that. We also race Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays starting at 7. Those nights are free to spectate, but they're also not really our main focus of the week. They're more intended for our learning and education programs. But if you'd like to see what that's like, in case you're curious before you sign up for a class, you can come check them out. Junior and adult classes will carry right on into next year. We don't have any adult classes left on our schedule this year. So if you're really itching to get started, you'll have to wait until 2020. But we do have a junior camp, still with some spots available for next week. A week-long camp, our last one of the season, still available. Jerry Baker Jr. team registration can still be done online as well. Not a whole lot of events left to do this season, of course, and your benefits won't really be reaped until 2020. But you can find out more information about those great programs by going to velodrome.org. Go into the programs, drop down, and start browsing around and look at those options there. A few more laps to go. Our chaser's seeing 4, and our leader's coming through. We're about to be on 3 to go. Carl Pratis coming to the front for his group. Nobody willing to do too much work at this stage, except for Henry now, who's going to get up and out of the saddle and wants to make a move. At 3 to go. Carl Pratis moves, and so does Skylar now. Bib 120 tries to get on the wheel of the juniors in front of her. This move by Kaiser making it a bit tougher for the field. They all managed to cover for the most part. And in fact, Skylar Samuelson will say, you know what, I got another effort in me. I'm just going to go ahead and go. You think you're done? I ain't. 2 to go. 2 to go. Skylar rower turn track cyclist coming here to join us for some racing this weekend. Serving actually as a Stanford rowing coach this next season, so you can look out for the Stanford rowing team benefiting from Skylar's work. But it's going to be Henry Kaiser, the laser, back on the front at 1 to go. Just looking smooth here, trying to stay away from the chasing rider behind her. Skylar trying to get back on. And the next rider up will be bib number 82. It looks like Parker Swanstrom trying to get away from the group of riders that were with him. Kaiser's doing a great job just separating himself from this field, though, as he starts to roll away a little bit here, looking very smooth and doing just enough effort. He's actually looking to his shoulder saying, I think I got this thing, so he's trying to make sure he doesn't use more than needs to. Kaiser with a nice move. At 1 to go, will find it, and Swanstrom will work his way up for second across the line. Skylar will take third across the line, our first woman finisher. Now we move on into some points races. We got 3 fields coming up tonight to do some points racing. And the first of them is our Masters field coming on up. Masters, come on down. Points racing. For the Masters, come up to the rail, please. On deck, the Elite and Masters Women and our juniors. The field that just finished up is also coming up for a points race. Again, the field that just finished up will be coming up next. Points racing now getting underway for our next couple fields. Racing rules are the same in a points race. If you've ever been out here on a Friday night before, we're not going to make anything too crazy different tonight. As a quick reminder, this race goes as such. We're going to post a certain number of sprints and how many laps they are apart. In this case, we said 5 by 5. That means 5 sprints every 5 laps. For those sprint laps, first 4 riders across the line earn points. It goes first gets 5, second gets third, third gets 2, and fourth will get 1. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders on the lap. At the end of the race, we double it up for 10, 6, 4, and 2 on the very last lap. Lapping the field is worth 20. The field lapping you is worth losing 20. And the sound of the whistle means racing is underway. 25 to go for the field. 25 to go. First sprint for points. Cards will be showing 21, and the bell will ring at that point. So no points on these early laps. This is just the prequel to the action. But speed's still an important factor, something you want to play well against your opponents, of course, is make them tired before the sprint even starts. Not uncommon to see racers that may think that endurance is going to play poorly for them tonight to put in a little extra effort on this first sprint. Try to pick up points early when they know they might have fresher legs and their strength might play to them before the rest of the field starts to really apply their longer endurance pressure on them. Get that opportunity whenever you can, get some points, and it might end up helping you get to the top of the field. 23 to go. Bell will be ringing 2 laps from now. One rider getting away, trying to work on setting up for points. Vern Cole. That smooth pedal motion, just getting away from the field. Looking very calm and collected, just hoping that in another lap he'll hear that bell and the rest of the field won't be too close yet. In fact, he looks over the left shoulder and sees, hey, I've done some work here. I got myself a pretty good gap. Might be able to already write off the 5 points unless this field really starts clicking along. Vern Cole coming in for the bell. 5 points to lead the lap for him. Next time around, looking for 5 points. Field getting the bell. Peter Snoblin pushing the train along right now as Mike Robson will start to accelerate and come right into view, bringing Loeffel, Holes, and Williams with him. Vern Cole freaking out the 5. Kenny Williams 3. Robson 2. Loeffel, Holes 1. Our current race leader, Vern Cole, with that solo move earlier, and Liquid Velo rider, number 25, is in the lead with 5 points. Kenny Williams for Center Cycles, bib 1, has got 3, good for second place. Mike Robson in third with 2. Hans Lofelholz in fourth with 1. Robson is in bib 30, Lofelholz in bib 49. Those are our third and fourth place riders. Our field's still coming back together again and getting set for their second sprint. One sprint, not going to tell much of the story just yet, but we are going to keep our eye on Vern Cole, the current race leader. He's at the front of the field. He swings up to the right. So our early attacker now going to sit in a little bit and try to recover, as that's a pretty big effort to get away from all these athletes tonight, pick up the 5 points. Seeing open track in front of him, time to make another move away from this field. These in-between laps, we're going to see these attacks come when their opportunities are there for the riders that are looking for the points, and this is a good time to go well before the bell. Darlene with a big effort at 16 to go. Center Cycles working away from this group, and it looks like they've almost kind of given up the chase a bit. They're facing each other now for the 3 points, as it might already be Darlene with 5. We can kind of score now, but we'll see. Looks like J.A. Delaney is the lead rider in the field right now for Lost Boy Racing. Here comes Darlene for the 5. Delaney holding on for 3, Williams 2, and Brett Walker 1. Unofficial points I have a 3-way tie for the lead between Mike Darlene, Kenny Williams, and Vern Cole, all with 5 points apiece. In fourth place, Jay Delaney with 3, Mike Robson in fifth with 2, Brett Walker and Hans Lofelholz both have 1. Chip Chase for Liquid Velo is moving away, trying to get away from this field now too. He watched Vern saying, I think I can try one of those myself. Chip Chase about a lap later finds himself high along the railing and gets swept up by the field once again. 13 to go. Bell in 2 laps. Again, there is more racing this weekend. If you want to learn more about Fred's Race, the regional championships here at the track for juniors, elites, and masters, the Fred C. Rayberger's website, Memorial Race website is fredsrace.com. You can also head to velodrome.org and click the first banner that pops up there. That'll take you to the homepage, and you can see the full schedule and all details on that website. Again, fredsrace.com, so you can take a look at the full schedule and see if you want to come back and check out any more of the racing this weekend. We got more evening racing tomorrow if you want to come back and watch more of the same of this kind of racing. Food truck and beverage gardens, the whole 9 yards. Or, of course, if you want to come in the morning, you'll be able to see some of the more timed events and more individual type things going on. A whole bevy of events going on for Fred's Race. Our regional championships come around only once a year. Thank you for joining us and making tonight a little bit more fun. We appreciate having spectators join us here at our Velodrome. Three riders, all with 5 points apiece, and they're still on this race. 11 to go. More points next lap. Robson riding right down the middle, waiting for somebody else to be in view. It's going to be Mike Rogers, it looks like, that's going to come right into the sprinter's lane and get away from this field while they're all sleeping. A well-timed effort for Rogers coming out of the turn here, and he looks like he's on his way for the 5, while Robson and Williams fighting for 3. Whoa, too close to call for me. My eye tells me it's on the inside, but I'll wait to get the official call on that. So after that close sprint, just to double check who came out in the right order there, it will be 30 on the inside. That's going to be Robson getting 3 over Williams getting 2. So again, number 30 picking up 3. Williams, bib 1, gets 2 points in that one. Unofficial points totals, Williams getting enough out of that to take the lead with 6. After that, I have 4 riders with 5 apiece. The race is tight here as we've got Vern Cole, Mike Darlene, Mike Rogers, and Mike Robson. It's a family of Mikes out here, all with 5 points apiece. Again, a 4-way tie at 5. Jay Delaney's got 3 points. I believe that's good for 6th. And I've got Loaful Holes, Chip Chase, and Walker with 1 apiece. 0.03 of a second separating second and third across the line in that last sprint, according to our finish camera. That's pretty close. My mistake on the points total for Williams, he's sitting at 7 points. My call always on the unofficial side. So once again, Williams has 7 points in the lead, 2 above the next riders, all with 5 apiece. Robson, Rogers, Darlene, and Cole with 5. Six to go, and our bell's ringing for our second to last sprint. And Mike Darlene, one of those riders, one of the Mikes, is off the front. Mike Darlene for center cycles, trying to get away from the field to pick up another 5 here and move himself in the finishing standings. So again, an explosive move before the bell. Whoa, Loaful Holes, I think might have gotten the 3. After that, it gets a bit busy. Maybe Chip Chase in for points. Williams down the sprinter's lane. We'll wait for the official call. After that sprint, my unofficial points totals bring up Mike Darlene to 10 in the lead of the race. Kenny Williams in second with 7. Vern Cole in third with 6. Rogers and Robson both have 5. Good for 4th place in a tie. Hans Loaful has 4. Chip Chase has 3. Jay Delaney has 3. Brett Walker has 1. Mike Darlene, Alistair Lay starting to edge away from this field, but that's going to be Darlene with the points. Trying to get a lot more here. That's bib number 40, the current race leader off the front right now. The last lap's coming in here. Just came across at 2 to go. So the next lap will be the bell for Darlene and the rest of these racers. Looks like, though, this might not play out the way Darlene was hoping for. The field is really starting to accelerate now. Under the wheels of Delaney, the Lost Boys racer. 1 to go. Our final lap here for our Masters points race. Delaney catching on in time to bring racers into this point sprint. And there's some riders that were just itching to come up to the front. Delaney's just going to try to swing it around and keep things going fast. He's got Kenny Williams on his wheel, who would love to be here to get up the 10 points in this last one. Loaful Holes in the mix. Brett Walker wants to get on this one. They're coming in hot through the turn. It's still Delaney at the front. Caution to the sprinter's lane as we've got the sprint coming in hot. It's going to be Williams, Delaney, and I think Loaful Holes, maybe Walker for 2. A couple more finishers here. On deck are women competitors as well as the 15 to 18-year-old juniors are going to be coming out of the track here in a bit. Another reminder of exiting on the backstretch on the finishing lap. Thank you. All right, women competitors, 15 through 18 juniors to the rail. Couple more races to do this fine evening in our first session of the Fred C. Rayburger Memorial. Our fun race here in August going on every year. For the past couple of years, we've been holding this annual tradition here in August to celebrate the season of hard work for all of our competitors and try to bring together every age group for one weekend of fun. It's just our first of many sessions. If you're curious and want to be resourceful, take a look at the schedule yourself, see if you might want to check out anything else. You can check out the website at fredsrace.com. That's one word, fredsrace.com. Off we go for some points racing, a 5x5, a 25 lap points race in total. Same rules as we just had a moment ago. So all those same points of 5, 3, 2, and 1, 20 to lap, or lose 20 when you get lapped. Everything still plays out the same. Didn't really see ties coming into the finish on the last racing, except for those without any points. If you have a tie in a points race, ties are broken by your finishing position. That is worth remembering in case any of our riders with no points are going to be competing for podiums, and that might happen in this combined field. So those riders will be just going in a scratch race, essentially, breaking ties on that final lap. Moving things pretty quickly here. That looks like now Bryn Ward coming up to the front as the field's starting to get ready for their first points. Still a couple laps out, though. The bell will be ringing at 21 to go. Ward hoping to move things along. Looks behind her, sees some daylight behind her, thinking, I was thinking someone might have responded, but if they're not going to, maybe I can find some points myself. 22 to go now. Bell next lap. Lisa Erickson for the Holtley Law Peak Condition team is the next rider to try to chase down the leader. Henry Kaiser also matching in with it, and it looks like it'll be Lisa Erickson taking the front. Points next lap. 5 points to the leader. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Keirin and Swanstrom now on the move through turns 1 and 2. In front of the race is Keirin for the Jay Baker Jr.'s team with the blue helmet on. Riding his wheel, our Dr. Walker Sports Chiropractor Youth Cycling Team competitor. This for the first points of the race. Keirin and Swanstrom looking for 5. Swanstrom looks to have it. Keirin 3. And sprinting for 2. It looks like it'll be Annette Williams finding 2 points, while Skylar Samuelson will get 1. In first place, Parker Swanstrom with 5 points. In second, Henry Keirin with 3. In third with 2 is Annette Williams. And in fourth with 1 is Skylar Samuelson. On deck, we will invite up the elite men for their points race. The last race of the night coming up next. Elite men points race. $17 to go. 17. Next point sprint coming in on the lap. Points next lap. Carl Pratis, the leader on the lap. Looks like Lisa Erickson trying to find a spot in there as Annette Williams on a pretty good wheel, but Henry Keirin will be the next one to launch the attack from the back of the field. Hoping to drop Swanstrom before he can challenge. So Keirin coming out of the turn with Pratis next up. Keirin 5, Pratis 3, Swanstrom 2, Williams 1. Our current leader in the points, Henry Keirin with 8. In second is Parker Swanstrom with 7. In third is a tie between Annette Williams and Carl Pratis with 3 apiece. That's good for third. I have Skylar Samuelson as 5th with 1 point. As good as the official numbers as of right now. $13 to go. So again, our current race leader, one of our juniors in the field right now, is Keirin with 8. Rider with the blue helmet on, kind of mid-backfield right now, the black and blue jersey. Seeing 12 to go. Parker Swanstrom has got kind of a black and red and white kit on for the Dr. Walker Sports Chiropractic Youth Cycling Team in second with 7. You can see bib number 82 on his kit. Gonna see some names coming at the front here looking for some points. Is Bryn Ward, Kelly Darlene, and Lisa Erickson all trying to find their first points of the race at 11 to go. Henry's got that speed though, as he's gonna try to launch his own attack, stealing points away. Again, there's a lot of races within the race going on. As we will be points were gonna be scored as a field, but the medals are gonna be separated out within the individual categories of some of the represented riders within the field. Here comes Keirin off the front for 5. Looks like Pradis is trying to come in for 3. And Samuelson almost finding 3. We'll actually get 2 there. Looks like it was 1 point on the inside for Darlene. Staying in the lead with now a total of 13 points is Henry Keirin. In second place with 7 is Swanstrom. Parker Swanstrom in second with 7. Closely followed in third by Carl Pradis with 6. After that, I have 2 riders with 3 pieces, Annette Williams and Skylar Samuelson. 1 rider with 1 is Kelly Darlene. Seven to go, and Lisa Erickson's going to launch another attack. Again, looking for some points here, and this is a new way to try to get it. Late in the race, launch an early attack. Play off the fact that they might be a little tired in the field and not willing to chase, and that's exactly what she sees here. She looks around. Nobody in the chase right now. The Holy Law Peak Condition team now getting away from it. And Lisa's certainly going to be setting herself up to find some points in this next sprint. Bell's ringing. Let's get some points going for Lisa next time around. Keirin on the move, getting away from the field. Skylar Samuelson, the next rider, trying to chase down. Henry showing he can still make this big gap up here to find the 5, while Lisa's going to go on the way for 3. Now the sprint for 2. It'll be 2 points for Williams and 1 point for Darlene. That puts Henry Kaiser in a commanding lead with the points of 18 right now. In second with 7 is still Swanstrom, and 6 to Pratis is still good for third. After that, things are starting to mix it up a little bit as Williams comes up with 5 points, currently in 4th place in the overall standings. Lisa Erickson finding 3, now finds herself in a tie with Skylar Samuelson, both with 3 points, while Kelly Darlene gets another in that last one. She now has 2 points. Lisa's going to try it again, and this time she's starting to really put some distance between her and this field. What does this mean? Well, this could be a big deal here because the last sprint is worth double, and nobody's got a ton of points except really for Kaiser, who's got what looks to be a pretty strong lead. Everybody else has got less than 10, though. Kaiser with 18 points is feeling pretty okay watching this get away, and he knows what the competition really is within the field. So Erickson doing a nice move here. A lot of track between her and the field. She couldn't find the 5, but she's going to find 10. You know, that's probably better than getting 5 points. Get the last 10 for sure. So she's going to go on her way for that. The field's starting to get a little bit of speed here, but she's got 2 laps to do it. Let's see if she can hold on for it. Yeah, the field not doing a ton of work to chase now. They'll sit up a little bit at 2 to go. Lisa doing everything she can. She's up and out of the saddle on the back straight. She's trying to maintain her cadence here mid her effort and push all the way to the end. Help her out, Lisa, getting the 1 to go. Coming around the turn. 1 to go. 1 to go. And 1 to go for our field here. 6 points up for grabs in the field. 6 points up for grabs. 1 to go. Erickson gets. So this will put Lisa Erickson at 13 points as she comes around. She'll be picking up the 10. Moving her up well into the standings. She says, thank you very much. I finally got away from them and picked up some big points and a good finish for Lisa. And the sprint out of the field will be Swanstrom trying to find the 6. Kaiser chasing. Swanstrom for 6. Kaiser for 4. That'll hold on to his overall win today. Swanstrom will stay away from Pratis in the overall finishing order. And after that, I believe, as we come across, for the most part, riders had the points that we were looking for. So not watching too many of the tiebreakers there as our riders come across the line. They'll all exit on the back straight as they're finished up at this point. Next field, please, to the rail. Come on down. Elite men for our last race tonight, a 30-lap points race. And our final race of the evening, we'll be closing out this first session. Our elite men coming back out for what should be an interesting points race, a 30-lap event. 6x5 as posted in the schedule. We got our largest field competing in this first session, our elite men. And will be our longest race of the evening if you exclude that first Madison that kicked things off, that 40-lapper, the open up tonight. Mars looking for Madison jerseys on the infield if you have them to return them. We're going to send you around one more time as we're going to get a rider in. We're going to try and get one more rider in there quickly. They're still in the neutral for you. All right. We're going to get them one more time around us. We're going to make sure we got our full group together. And there's our whistle signaling the beginning of the race. 30 to go. 6x5. Again, Madison's jerseys, if we can help collect tonight. I know we're going to have some racers that are currently in this race. When they're finished up, they'll help collect those. That's on the infield. Thank you for helping us return our Madison jerseys. This will be Dave Miller of the Split Mango Racing team. Going to be pushing the pace early on. Don't forget, if you want some good action shots from the evening, Dennis Crane is here on top of the podium, taking photos of all the action. dbcphoto.com. After racing is all completed, you can check it out, find your favorite, purchase it, share it with the world. Let them know that you were here in Redmond and having a great time at our Velodrome. Our thanks to Dennis and dbcphoto.com. Also, big thanks to Pied Broadmark Management, LLC. Might have to redo our banner here pretty soon after going through the merger. I don't know all of the story of that yet, but our thanks to our longtime supporters in Pied Broadmark. Greg Cycles, of course, for being our partners in helping with our e-pace, and of course, just their financial support for years and years here at the track. Our good friends at Greg Cycles. You can find their 3 local locations to help serve your needs, help get your new bike taken care of, and they will service it for its lifetime. Take a look at Greg Cycles for any of your bike needs. Bells ringing for the first points in the race. Chris Wilson of the Fountain Cycling Guild is looking for something behind him to happen. That's that dark green jersey pulling up out of the way. Now the field taking on underneath him. Again, this first sprint oftentimes being contested by a lot of riders, some who you may not see much later of because they're going to be making sure they get up here when they can. Big sprint out of the field, though. I think it's going to be Fount Cycling to the front. Richter for 5. Murison 3. Miller 2. And I think bib number 3 got the 1. A warning to John Bowie. Bib 32. John Bowie for passing underneath. A warning from our officials. Official warning, bib 32 for passing underneath. In the lead is Richter, the rider for Fountain Cycling, taking the first sprint with 5 points. Number 44, Trek Red Truck Racer Alexander Murison with 3 points. It's Christian Miller of the 10-speed Hero team, picking up 2 in the first sprint. In third, Peter Newlands, bib 5, is in fourth with 1. That looks to be Dylan Davies now, trying to get away from the group a little bit. Not allowing too much space here as the field is going to try to reaccelerate and keep him close. Bell next lap, and he knows it, so he's trying to set this up now. Davies with a relentless motor, and we've seen it put to use here already earlier this season when he was here on that Grand Prix weekend, and the field says, that's not worth it. That's a hard one to catch. Now our leader getting the bell, Dylan Davies getting away from the field. 5 points next lap, as long as he can stay away from him, and that's going to be just what happens. The field sprinting for 3, 2, and 1 on this lap. There's a possibility that this could change, but Davies is one heck of a dangerous rider, and now he's got himself a lot of track to work with. And after this sprint, unless the field can continue to really carry the momentum, this might be Davies' race to just roll away with. We'll see. Pryhuber coming out of the field looking for 3. 2 points for Murison, and 1 going to go to 39. That's Adam Engert of the Holte Law team. So it's still Dylan Davies, not quite 200 meters up on the rest of the chasing riders. Getting a little bit closer to that point, though. Unofficially, I got Murison, Richter, and Davies all tied at 5 apiece. Pryhuber with 3 in fourth. Christian Miller in fifth with 2. Newlands with 1. Engert with 1. So you can see riders beginning to organize themselves in these chase groups. So we have a chase of 3, a chase of 2, and now the field starting to feel a little bit anxious. Davies, 200 meters up on the field just about now. Essentially halfway around the track from the biggest group of riders. He could look over his left shoulder and see them as he's crossing that midway point. This chasing group of 3, led by David Miller, currently of the Split Mango team. Chase of 2, make a chase of 4 now, breaking apart. So this field's starting to feel the pressure, and they're snapping because of it. The trick is who's going to survive all this hard work to try to get back up to Davies, and is it worth it? Dylan's just going to keep rolling away here. 5 more points next lap for Dylan Davies. As he hears the bell. Again, he was kind of had a story here at our Grand Prix this season as he came out and set a track record for the scratch race here at our track. So we know Davies has got one heck of a motor on him, and he's just going to keep working. There's no reason why he should slow down. He's got 5 more points. Why not? Davies, impressive tonight in the points race. 15 to go. Murison is the next rider on the track right now, trying to come through the turn to pick up the 3. So Murison for Red Truck coming in for 3. Whoa, a little close to the line there. I think it's 8 on the inside as Lucas Strain looked like he had it for the Point S Nokian team. So it'll be Strain getting 2 there and Schmidt getting 1. That is their current point totals. We'll go back to the leader, who's got himself with a points total of 10 right now. Murison in second with 8. Dave Richter in third with 5. In fourth, I got Pryor with 3. A couple riders with 2 is Miller and Strain. 3 riders with 1 is Angert, Schmidt, and Newlands. Our leader just now coming on the home straight. Dylan Davies seeing 14 to go. If he catches the group in front of him, that's being counted as a field right now. So if he were to catch them, he gets plus 20, and they all go down, or they basically essentially lose a lap of the race as he catches them. In front, this is the chase. So this is not considered the field, this group right here coming across the line as of right now. So our chase off the front of the field, trying to get back up to where our leader is, and they are not looking like they're getting a lot of ground covered right now, as Davies is already getting another bell. 11 to go. Looks like things might be coming back together again as that field trying to do the work necessary to kind of combine things together. And it looks like we're in contact. So they're all going to be getting the bell. This is going to be for 3 points as Davies is off the front by 300 some meters. 11 to go for the field, and here's our leader now sitting at 15 points. Davies. Unbelievable. This might be the catch here. We'll see. It's going to be hard for him to get there once they get up to the sprint, though. After the sprint, we might watch Davies catch. We'll have to wait and see. He could still catch on the back end of the sprint if he really wants to. Murrison off the front to pick up 3. 2 points for Baker, I believe. 1 for Miller. He's caught, so we're going to put up 20. We just drop a card right there. So we got 7 to go, 7 to go, 7 to go. Plus 20 for Mr. Davies. So he's got a total now of 35. Sprint this lap. Points next lap. So it was Baker getting 2 in the last sprint, Christian Miller getting 1. Quite a bit of chaos there as we catch. Davies with 35 is our leader. Murrison with 11 in second. Richter with 5, still in third. Pryhuber and Miller both got 3 apiece now. Baker with 2, Strain with 2, Schmidt, Angert, and Newlands with 1. It's a crazy race in terms of who's got points. Murrison going to try to get 5 more here, but Richter wants it. 5 for Richter, 3 for Baker, 2 for Murrison, and that looks to be 1 point for number 27. So we know the leader, it's Davies. He caught. He doesn't really even need to sprint anymore to win this race. He's uncatchable with 35 points. Murrison is sitting in second with 13 points. 13 points for our second place rider, Murrison. In third is Dave Richter with 10. In fourth is 5 points to Andy Baker. I got 3 points to Pryhuber, 3 to Miller. 2 to Strain, 1 to Angert, 1 to Schmidt, 1 to Newlands. So Murrison in second place with 13. His next closest competitor is Richter. Murrison is number 44. Richter is number 23. Murrison with that Red Truck Racing jersey is a white and red look to him. Richter in a dark green. Neither rider in a position right now as we're going to be getting into the bell soon. 2 to go as the front of the race is coming around. Look who it is, the rider who's already lapped the field. Why not keep going? Dylan Davies, 2 to go. Lucas Strain for Point S. Nokian is trying to get onto his wheel, and he's doing a good job of it so far. Might as well follow this train around the track and see if I can get myself in a position for some good points on the final sprint worth 10, 6, 4, and 2. Don't forget. Bell's ringing, 1 to go. Give some love for the elite men here going around for one more lap. Dylan Davies at the front. 1 to go, 1 to go. And coming around the turn for this final lap, looks like Lucas Strain doing a good move to pick up 10, but Dylan Davies will be our unquestioned winner of this race. 4 points for Bowie, 2 more for Richter. I think because Madison at 13, Richter 10, the 2 isn't going to be quite enough for Richter to come into the second place. So unofficially, that'll be a first place finish for Davies, Madison in second, and Richter third. Everybody taking the exit on the lap as the race is all finished up. Thank you all for joining us on this fine evening of racing. We have plenty more to do this weekend for Fred's race, of course. As you will find if you come back here tomorrow, you're going to be seeing plenty more racing going on throughout the day. And of course, we got another evening session you don't want to miss. If you want to take a look at the full schedule, again, our recommendation is to head on over to fredsrace.com and check out the details there on the website. For those looking for our next session, we will see you for tomorrow morning, session 2 at 10 a.m. We've got ourselves some time trials going on, 500 meters, the kilos, 2Ks, 3Ks, 4Ks, the whole fun of that going to be going on tomorrow in the a.m. Tomorrow's night session starts at 6. Session 3 of Fred's Race, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Hope that some of our spectators will find it in their busy schedules. Come back out and join some great racing tomorrow night and support the riders as they continue on their work through the weekend at Fred's Race. Again, our thanks to our spectators for making tonight special. Our folks that tuned in the live stream, thanks for watching. We appreciate you checking in on us. And, of course, to our racers for making tonight fun. We look forward to seeing you again here tomorrow morning for more racing at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.